Hey everyone, it is Ed Gutowski, and what I wanted to do was just talk about our shift because we're going to shift gears and we're going to look at literature of World War II. And I kind of wanted to just kind of give kind of a brief lecture to talk about literature of World War II and then talk about the kind of the themes and City of Thieves. Now, City of Thieves is a fantastic novel. It's a real dark novel about World War II, and there is a huge debate on City of Thieves and whether or not it's in fact an example of World War II literature or it's an example of Holocaust literature. Now, we can ask the questions if these two things are connected or if they're two separate genres. But I think one of the things that's great about City of Thieves is how it looks at this kind of argument and debate. Now, what's interesting is I've taught this book both online and on ground. And on ground, the majority of students felt that the book was a reflection of the Holocaust. However, when I taught it online, most students thought it was a reflection of World War II. And I'm trying to figure out why there's such a difference between how my online class views the novel and then how my ground class views the novel. But what you see here is you see there are various works of World War II literature. And if we switch here, right, there's all sorts of these great works of World War II literature. But I think it's important when we talk about World War II, we need to understand basically some basic concepts of World War II, right? We just want to have our basic dates, right? So World War II started from 1939 to 1945. That gives us some historical context, right? It really starts with the Germans invading of Poland and ends with the dropping of the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We have to remember that really the Americans don't really get involved until World War II until after Pearl Harbor. But I also think, that it's important that we can look at some themes that World War II literature deals with, right? Because World War II literature really opened up a whole sense of complex and moral and philosophical issues that really would define the rest of the 20th century. And that might explain why City of Thieves is viewed as literature of the Holocaust less than just being a novel about World War II. Some of the themes that we can see include a loss of innocence. There's the contrast between patriotism and disillusionment and moral ambiguity during a time of war. What I want you to do is after you've watched this video is I created a sort of a link that sort of looks at various themes of World War II literature. And what I basically want to do is I kind of want to know what you thought of this video, what you thought of some of the themes that World War II literature deals with, and then think about how we look at that novel as we go into City of Thieves. Now, the last thing I should point out is that what City of Thieves does is it gives us a really unique insight into World War II because we're looking at essentially the Battle of Leningrad, where the Russians have, or the Germans have basically invaded most of Europe, and they're basically trying to make their final push down into Leningrad. And we'll meet two characters, civilians who are deeply impacted by the results of World War II. So I'm curious to see what your response is both to the video and to some of the themes that come up in this video as well.